All right, guys, thank you for joining me on Module 4. You guys are at the end. I'm very proud of you guys. You guys now know how to define a section within a website and how to define a row within a website. And now you know what both functions are. Now, let's say you have an existing website. You want to go ahead and edit it. You maybe want to change out some of the elements, or you just want to go ahead and add some more elements. Whatever the case is, you want to make some edits. So we want to go ahead and find the page that we have, or the one that you're looking for. In this case, I wanted to find the one that says home. So I went ahead and typed into the search feature here, found the home page. Now, always click on duplicate this. Now, the reason why, I'm gonna go ahead and reiterate it. I know I did it in the earlier videos. You do not want to work on an existing live site. You always want to work on the draft version of that site. And the reason why I say that is because if you make changes to the live site, something goes south, you clicked on a bad button, you lost something in translation, whatever the case is, if you do not have a valid backup of that page or the entire site, you will lose that information, and you will either have to end up doing a lot of troubleshooting trying to get all that information back, or you're going to have to do your best as possible to try to get that information back. And it's not going to be worth it in the end. So moving forward, I went ahead and I clicked on the two tabs. Okay, and that's the first one is edit, and then the second one is edit with WP Bakery Page Builder. Now, I just want to reiterate, this option of edit and this option of edit with WP Page Bakery Builder, they're exactly the same. They just look different. One is the front end editor, which is this one. This one is the back end editor. It's just a matter of how they look, to be 100% honest. So this is the back end editor, okay? So if you see here, you can still see the section. You can still see the rows, and then the secondary row here as well too. And you see a little bit more of the customizations that we've done. In the same token, when you're looking at this, you're really seeing this. So in other words, all this information here is exactly the same. It's just a different format of the actual builder. Now, the only reason why I personally like to see this better is because it helps you define the sections of the actual website. So now see here, this is a section, and I can tell because it goes from end to end. These are rows. That's a row. And then see, this is another row within that section. And then it seems we have a secondary section here. And then it starts with more rows, more content, same thing. Another section here. So what I'm trying to get at is that if you want to look at how the actual sections and rows are defined in an easier format than just having to take a look at it here, because you sometimes will miss this section here button. If you scroll down, sometimes like see, I have to hover over this just to get to this section feature. If you want to make more specific edits, you can do that here. The options are still absolutely the same. Let's say I want to change that picture. Go ahead and click on the pencil icon. And I'll do the same thing here. So that way you can see that the features are exactly 100% the same. It just looks different. See? I can click on between both tabs. Everything looks exactly the same. It's just two different formats of the builder. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this one here since we've already worked on the front end. You can go ahead, click on the plus sign. Instead of using this image, let's say you want to use this image. Click on set image. Click on changes. And that's it. Once I hit the you won't see the actual changes until I hit the publish icon. Once I do hit this published icon, this image here will be uploaded. So now, right now, you don't see the changes because I haven't hit the published. Right now, it's still set to save as a draft, okay? But what I'm trying to get at is that here you can look at all the elements in broader view, and here you can make even more customizations. So here, let's say you want to add a section of more information. Go ahead. You don't even have to hover over anything. You can go ahead, split this up into two sections. Already adds this. And then you can go ahead, add whatever you prefer. Let's say you add a Facebook like button. Okay, you want to animate it. Fade to big. That's exactly what it'll look like. Or if you want to use a different one, bounce down, sure. Horizontal button type, if you want horizontal button with the counts, or if you want a vertical. Let's try with the count. Let's see what that one would look like. Okay. Design options. Everything else is exactly the same. If you want to add a border to it, if you want to add a specific image to the background of that section instead of place of that actual icon, you could do that. You click on Save Changes. And then if you want to add another section, just like we did here for an icon, you can go ahead and click on the plus sign. Let's say you want to add a, call it a text box. There we go. And this is a prototype of a section we are building. So you want to go ahead and click on Save Changes. And again, the same thing still happens. If you want, you can take the placement of this one. You can adjust the placement of this one. The whole point of this is that you still can absolutely make the changes here on the back end editor as much as you could on the front end editor. You can still take this image, brush it over here if you prefer. Why not? You can take this, brush it over here, take that, go ahead, put it over here. So you're changing the layout visually here, but here, as long as you understand how sections and rows work, it will also go ahead and make the changes here too as well. All this information you can change. You just click on the pencil icon, stop guessing. Okay, sure. Maybe we don't want to say stop guessing. Stop overthinking it. Go ahead and make the changes to that one. Or if I wanted to, on the visual editor, let's see, where's the stop guessing is right there. Click on the plus. Oops, stop overthinking it. Save changes, you see it there. That's it. That's really what it comes down to. All these features you can customize 100%. It's such an easy builder. If you just want to edit this exact column, now by this column, it will edit everything that's in this box. And that's the reason why I like to see everything in the backend editor. Because see, when you edit the column, you can actually edit just how to animate that one specifically. So let's say you want to add this one as a bounce down, but this one, you want to animate it to look something different instead of using bounce down, fade in right. So this one, when you scroll down, it'll bounce down. This one at the same time will bounce into the right. And then this one, you don't have to animate it at all since it's the centerpiece, or you can fade up big. Sure, whichever one. Sky's the limit. What I'm trying to say is that you can add as much information as you want. When we have here things like the raw HTML, these are custom coded things that we've had from our developers that pertain to our website, mainly newsletters, contact forms. And then of course, if you have, let's say MailChimp, or if you have an active campaign account and you've created a form on there, they'll usually give you what's called a short code. A short code is this information here. So the way how you add a short code is you add your section, you add your row, you click on the plus, and then after that, you click on the raw HTML. Go ahead, select all that information, delete it, replace it with the new code, hit the save changes, you're all set. If you want to add any design elements to it, let's say you want to add a background to that form or whatever is going in that place, if you want to add it over an image, you absolutely can. The sky's the limit. And again, this is the backend editor, and all the information that you're seeing here, you'll also see in the visual editor. So it's entirely up to you how you want to work on the actual website. A lot of developers that I know only use the visual developer site. I honestly like to use the backend just because it shows me clear cut what's a section, what's the row, and it gives me a better understanding how the rows are functioning. So it's just about personal preference, really. But everything that you want to edit on WordPress is just click on the actual pencil icon. You have your list of options, and you can make all the edits as you want. Okay, same thing, design options, responsiveness options as well. So this is where you can customize how you want it to look on mobile. This is your desktop version. This is your medium version, which in this case would be like your laptop. Then you have your smaller version, which would be your iPad, your Surface tablets, or your iPad minis. And then, of course, you have your mobile site. So you can definitely, if you want to customize how this column looks specifically when it shows up on a website, you can do that as well. Maybe 20% of the column. Maybe you want to break it down into 8 columns, so 2/3 of it. It's entirely up to you. Of course, you can always click on preview. It'll show you a preview of all the changes that you've done so far, but it won't actually save them. So see, that's what I was talking about, where it changes the picture. Okay, and then see animation. We have our Facebook like button, and of course, we have the new text that we added. So it's just a matter of how you want to edit it, whether you want to do it on the back end or whether you want to do it on the front end. They're both viable options on how you want to do it. If you want to look at your site, let's say on mobile, you can click on that there, and then see, you can still also edit how you want it to look on mobile. So everything still stays exactly the same. That's one of the advantages of looking at it on the Visual Composer. Because see, when you have here on the back end, you don't have that format where you can actually look at it on mobile view. That's one of the advantages of the visual editor, because see here, you can edit the raw HTML, you can add this section, you can edit this column, how you want it to look. If you want to see how it'll look like on tablet mode, sure, go ahead and click on tablet mode. And that's how it would look like on a tablet as well. See, we have some text here that's overlapping, so we probably want to fix that. Maybe we don't want to use a word that says stop overthinking it. Maybe we'll just go back to stop guessing. Save changes, close, and then see, that reads a lot better. If we go to the actual mobile, reads pretty well. We go back to desktop, reads well. That's exactly, those are the things that we're looking for. Okay, so you want to be mindful of your sections. You want to be mindful of your rows. My personal preference is work here on the back end, make all the edits that you want to do. Then afterwards, open it up in the Visual Composer. Make sure to check out any changes that you want to make. And then from there, look at it in desktop, tablet, smaller, and just continue going all the way until you get down to mobile. And the reason why I say always check out your mobile, you want to keep in mind that about 90% of the users that access websites are always on your phone. Okay, we look at our phones daily, so your mobile experience needs to be up to par. You always want to make sure that when you are looking at your mobile side of things, always make sure that everything flows nice. There are no errors. The experience is good. Check for anything that looks off, anything that doesn't relay properly. See, I'm missing an icon here. I must have deleted it while I was showing on this video. So guys, that's pretty much it. Now you know the difference between the Visual Composer and then the backend editor. They're both viable options. It's entirely up to you on how you make your customizations and your edits. I promise you, WordPress is super easy, super streamlined, not hard to use at all. Again, everything is spelled out for you. Just keep in mind, click on the pencil icon. All your options are there for whatever it is, whether it's a section, whether it's a row, whether it's content. All the information is there. Once you're done with everything and you're ready to go live, just go ahead and you can preview your changes. And if you publish, it'll automatically save it. Me personally, if you have a supervisor, go ahead and click on Save Draft, send it to your supervisor. Make sure you always run a thorough QA. Make sure all the links work. Make sure the menu structures are there. Make sure you look at your mobile menu. Make sure you look at your desktop menu and your tablet menu. Make sure you do a thorough QA before you actually launch the site. Once you're done, go ahead and click Publish. And then after that, you can set it to become the actual home page. So from there, you would just look for Home, set it to Home. That's it. You're all set. And that's it for WordPress 101. You guys have been phenomenal, and I really appreciate you guys taking your time running through this course.